So recently, an MSNBC host decided that they were going to actually challenge corporations when it comes to corporate welfare. Let's take a look.
A comprehensive report from UC Berkeley's Labor Center studied working families who rely on public assistance programs like Medicaid and CHIP, the Basic Household Income Assistance Program, Temporary Aid to Needy Families, and Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. That means U.S. taxpayers are footing the bill. That's about $153 billion every year. The Intercept and the New Food Economy examined this problem, focusing specifically on Amazon employees using SNAP food benefits. In the state of Arizona, please listen to this, 1 in every 3 of Amazon employees depend on SNAP to put food on their family's table. In Pennsylvania and Ohio, the figure appears to be about 1 in 10. The president, for his part, consistently picks fights with Amazon about their use of the U.S. Postal Service for deliveries and their dominance in the retail market, and even Jeff Bezos owning the Washington Post. But here's what makes no sense. None of those touch the legitimate criticisms of Amazon. You want to criticize Amazon? I'm going to help you do that right now. But what the president is going after is nonsense. When jobs do not pay enough, workers turn to public assistance in order to meet their basic needs. And that burden is falling on taxpayers. But when the head of that company, paying low wages, happens to be the richest man in modern history, let me remind you of this. Jeff Bezos on Amazon Prime Day became worth $150 billion. When he's worth that much money, you begin to start asking the question, are companies like this, who are paying their employees so little, gaming the system?
Are they gaming the system? Yes. Yes, they are. I mean, hey, that's a simple answer. Yeah, of course they are. So look, this is interesting and fun for a couple of reasons, right? For one, here you have MSNBC actually criticizing a corporation for paying its workers so little that they have to get on food stamps. MSNBC! I know, they're supposed to be in the liberal station, but normally they spend, they spend 99% of their time, it seems like, on Russia. So for them to actually talk about how, hey, it turns out this really, really rich person is not paying his employees very well at all, even though he's worth $150 billion. So I like that one of their commentators is actually calling out that obscene level of wealth compared to their workers, right? Now, it's also a good thing, right? Because this actually shows how our message is starting to resonate. It's actually winning. Stephanie Ruhle is no progressive, right? But what she did is she basically made an argument for A, taxing the rich, and B, a living wage. I mean, when the jobs do not pay enough, workers turn to public assistance in order to meet their basic needs, and that burden is falling on taxpayers, right? So that's more of like a conservative argument towards that. Like, hey, do you want your tax money going to public assistance while this guy is super rich and he should be able to pay more to his workers? Hey, you know what? That's a good argument. That's even a good argument for conservatives. So that explains why even a lot of conservatives are like, you know what? You're right. Why am I paying for this corporate welfare? Because that's essentially what it is. These and Walmart's another great example of this. They pay their workers so little that they get on food stamps, they get on Medicaid, and guess where they spend that food stamps? They go back and they spend it at Walmart. It's kind of the same thing. So that in itself is a subsidy. They make more money while they use public funds to subsidize themselves. That is a fundamentally broken system. That is fundamentally wrong. And so even conservatives can look at that and go, ooh, you know what? Hey, that's a good point. Why am I paying for that? Why don't you just pay your workers? I mean, I like it when people work. I like it when people make, enough money to survive without having to have government assistance. You know what? Progressives do too. That's something conservatives and progressives actually have in common. We don't like the corporate welfare. We think corporations are already making off with a fantastic deal. For example, the last tax cuts, 83% of it went to the rich, went to corporations. It's time to end that corporate greed. And so I'm telling you, even Americans are ready for progressive policies. And it kind of shows you when you have establishment MSNBC now echoing progressives on Amazon and talking about gross inequality between companies and their workforce, that's a sign. That's a sign. Democrats, run on these issues. Be strong. Maybe you'll actually get Republican votes. The Republican votes that you so covet might actually be gained through good policy. I know. Crazy, isn't it? Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.